There's a room most people never see. Not the red carpet room. Not the premiere room. Not even the congratulations you made it room. I'm talking about the green room. The waiting room, the in-between space, the place where makeup gets touched up and nerves get talked down. Where women sit before they perform, before they present, before they step into the spotlight and pretend they have it all together. Well, some of them. It's the room where the masks come off, where the truth lives, and for too long, what happens in the green room has stayed in the green room. The secrets, the struggles, the strategies, the survival tactics, the pain points, the moments of doubt that nobody posts on Instagram. Until now. My name is Adiola Kingsley James, and I'm done with the highlight reels. I'm done with the polished, sanitized, everything's fine version of success that we're all supposed to perform. I'm done watching brilliant women, African women, Nigerian women, Black women in film, TV, and every form of media suffer in silence whilst the world celebrates their great work and ignores their wounds. So we're creating a different kind of space here, a space where we tell the whole truth, hopefully, where we excavate the stories beneath the stories, where we turn the camera on ourselves not as objects to be consumed, but as subjects with agency, power, with something to say that the world needs to hear. So this is the Green Room Diaries. And if you're a woman who's ever felt invincible, undervalued, underpaid, overlooked, tokenized, or exhausted from carrying a dream that feels too heavy, this room is for you. On the show today, we have a phenomenal, groundbreaking, table-shattering, I'm messing with you. On the show today, we have somebody called Fatima, who's a producer, an admin expert, and also a project manager and strategy expert as well. And we're going to be talking about all things in between production and strategy. And, I think it's important that, especially as women in the creative industry, we start to add other things to the things that we do. But before I go any further, let's welcome Fatima.
Thank you. Thank you, Della. That was nice. That was very kind.
So we have a thing that we do here. Normally the sentence is, tell us a little bit about yourself. We don't do little here. Tell us a big about yourself.
My name is Theresa Fatima Ananinu, and I'm a producer. I'm also an admin expert, like you said. I've worked across several industries.
All the things that you do, you have to big it.
Okay.
So I've worked on projects like this.
Okay, the things that I do along the line of my work.
Yes.
Fantastic.
They have to know all the mountaintop of your work.
Okay.
Cover.
Okay. So
this is that time.
I'm a film producer, and I've worked, as most people would, across the production line. So from a production assistant to a production manager to the producer to the line producer and all of that. So I've worked across that line. And then I've also done quite a bit in terms of administration and project management. And I've managed projects, from films, which I see as projects,
yes,
to events,
yes,
to series, it just whatever it is. If you say, I want to build a house, I can be a project
that's
manager.
it.
If you say I want to buy a ship, I can manage that project.
That's it.
So whatever it is, I think that project management is just one of those skills that you can use across different industries. In my current role, I am chief of staff at a law firm in a multinational in Nigeria, and what I do is I manage the office of the country managing partner, who also has other businesses that I run, and a foundation as well. So I just have my hand in many pies at the moment, and I think
you're juggling it well.
Am I juggling it well? I think that I'm doing my best.
Okay.
I wake up every day and I say I'll do my best, and that's what I do. I also I'm head of admin and operations for Swift, and I also am creative director at a fashion brand. which is my weekend.
Ewo.
And
I told you, groundbreaking. She has broken all the tables. Now she's breaking ground.
You know, and yeah. So my like I said, I have my fingers in many different pies, and I just do my best job. I'm also a mommy of one, and you know, I'm also a woman.
Yeah,
so handling those different things every day it's like cooking a pot of soup. Do I have the ingredients? Am I missing one? And I substitute, and we do what we do.
So, you know, as you mentioned all the different things, right? Admin, projects, producing, creative director, mommy, human. How do we expect one person, one human being, to handle all those roles and succeed at them? So I want you to tell us how you are able to do some of those things, or how you're able to do all these things. And I'm asking that because, are you meant to?
That's a good question. So I recently found myself in a situation where I had to become more financially stable. And what had happened was I had picked up quite a number of things that were not clashing at the moment, but I realized that those things were not enough.
Okay.
I needed more stability. I needed a foundation. I needed a place that I knew that, rest assured, my
Money.
urgent 2K would come from, just in case. Right. And so, in addition to those things, I said, you know what, I'm going to call up my former boss. And I did that. And I said, listen, I'm struggling and I need help. And she said, oh,
come on up.
I actually do have, you know, an opening, and I think that you'd be the best person because we had worked together prior.
Before.
And so I added that. But in doing that, and because that was where my major payment was coming from, I had to kind of now prioritize. Okay, so what are the things that I need to do? I had to now block out the days and block out my time in the day and say, okay, from this time to this time, obviously I have a 9 to 5. I'm working 9 to 5. So my boss is watching. And then from this time to this time, I'm doing this other work. And sometimes if work is slow at the office, I can pick up this document and quickly work on it. And sometimes if work is slow on this other side, I can pick up this one and work on it. And because so that's really how I'm able to do it, and also support. I have a friend, just now I said, somebody needs to go and pick up my son from school. And I sent a message and she came through. So that's my support system.
So you have a support system.
I know that I can fall back on this person in the events that I don't. I also have a very amazing boss, and I'm not saying that in case she's watching.
So this one is true.
This is true.
Okay.
She is amazing in the sense that she said to me, you know what, because she's also a woman.
Yeah.
And it's not a lot of times that we have understanding people that we work for. And she said, okay, if you need to do a school run, then do the school run, take your son home and continue working from home. It makes sense. There are people that will tell you, are you the only one that has children?
I have children too.
6 kids.
Yes.
But you see, everybody does not have the same 24 hours.
Yes.
You may have 5 helps and I have none.
Yeah.
You know, so support system, managing my day, managing my time, because the work that I do also has to do with a lot of prioritizing. Sometimes I hit it, sometimes I miss it. But at the end of the day, I've learned those skills that you must prioritize your work. You must block out time in the day for doing what you're doing. And then sometimes when I have an event, say with Swift, because I've also told my boss that I have this other thing that I'm doing, she's like, just tell me that you have this event so that I can also manage my expectations. You know, and so it's all about planning, being organized, and having a solid support system.
And also kind of being truthful. Because,
and being honest, yes.
You know, and as you mentioned, you know, there's so many great bosses out there that are women. I remember when I had my daughter and I knew that I needed something to do. And I felt like I was losing my mind, sitting down at home. Somebody introduced me to somebody and I went to see her. And as we're talking, I said, look, it's buy one, get one free. If you buy me, my children is going to be coming here with me. And my daughter was barely 1 at the time, so I still will carry her. And she said to me, bring her. We'll find it. We didn't have a crush at the time, But she said, we'll find a place for her. Just you do what you have to do. And then I'd also said that I will bring somebody to double up with me. I would only come in maybe 2 or 3 times a week. But that person will be there 5 times, and I will split my salary and pay that person. And she said, yes, and I'm still very grateful to her for that, but some people don't have that. Like you said, some people will tell you, me too, I've also had children and I did it with madness. And so if I could do it, you
so
too
can
can.
you. I pass down the anointing.
You take the baton of suffering and suffer your way away, And I want you to speak to that, to how that has really, the fact that you found that kind of support and how it has really, really helped you in terms of breaking it down for people to see. But then I also want us to look at it and just imagine if you then have somebody who is not as supportive, what kind of advice would you be giving such a person?
I mean, I've had both. I've also worked a job where I didn't have the space to be. This person felt like, with that cherry money where they pay you, so
you must walk.
I will walk you to your last blood. And in the event that you have a personal situation, a personal crisis, or a day where you just can't, you are made to feel like
you're the devil's sister.
You're the devil's sister, and that you're just incapable. So for me, the balance is making sure that when I'm there, and I'm showing up for this person, because the person you're not doing the person a favor. You're being paid to do the job. And then you also realize that the reason that I'm here is because this person knows that I'm capable of doing the job. So finding that balance, because there are times where your boss will still tell you, so this thing you did now in your mind, you think is work. Do you understand? That you have to remind yourself that, okay,
let's not take advantage.
I'm having a hard day, but I still have a job to do. And being able to just compartmentalize, I'm at work now and let me get the work. Regardless of what is falling down around you. Having a boss that is supportive has made me a lot more humble, even in my relations with other people. It has made me to realize that whoever is working with you is a human being and is also having human experience. And so you must extend that grace to the person. And that's why sometimes I've had people say, Fatima, I don't know, I think you're taking too much. I think that you should show up a little sterner when it comes to maybe my domestic help. And I say, I'm sure my domestic help probably would hear you and say, is it this madam
that you think is soft? Are we experiencing the same problem?
But I have to consider that person is also a human being that is having their experiences and that I must extend grace. You must pay it forward. So that's how this experience has, kind of, I won't say change, but kind of just change my perspective, in terms of people's experiences. Having a supportive boss would also help you to show up 100% at work. And it would also help you to be understanding when they are not having such a great day.
Right.
So when your boss is having a tough day and they are raining down the heat
on you
are able to, pull from the box of love that they have shown in their own support. And you're like, they're having a hard day, Fatima, breathe in, breathe out, take it. What does she need
from me
done right now? What does she need from me?
Right.
And then show up as that.
Right.
So the thing about grace is that it multiplies. If I receive grace, I will give grace. I've spoken to you also that in some of our conversations, there are certain things that you might say that you feel I've said it. You might not even remember you've said it, but I've taken it away with me. And I'm like, if this person can say this thing, there was even if my response in that moment was that,
is she all right?
What's this one talking about?
Say no.
Don't do that. I will go back and I will sit with it because I'm just learning, life comes in so many different shapes. People are experiencing things under different situations and the way that they show up is also as a result of where they're coming from.
Absolutely.
So I've become a lot more empathetic. I've become a lot more removed as well, because I've learned how to remove myself from situation. I'm like, okay, not mine, not my circus, not my
They
monkeys.
didn't put my name.
And I just move on from that. So I think that maybe because of the person that I'm also becoming, just receiving that support. And then I know I'm also able to shut down when I need to shut down.
Right.
Or if I feel like it's too much, because I realize that I've taken on too much, but I do not have the, I would say, currency to say, let me drop this one. I can't at the moment.
Is it that you don't, or you have?
I do not. And I'll tell you why. Because there are certain things, I have just one child. And there are certain things that I want for that one child that I need to be able to afford.
So my next question is this. Who created the things that you want to give to one child? Who created things? Was it the child or was it you?
So it was a mix. So there's certain things that my child wants and I'm like, that's what you want to do with your life. That's tough. But again, I have to realize that my child is just 9 and I'm the adult. However, I have to also allow my child to grow their agency as a person and realize that there are some things that I want to do that are okay. And so it's the balance of, okay, this is what you want to do. This is what I want you to do. You're going to do both. Can you do both? Yes. Because you cannot rub bitter to people. And I also want to set up my child in the way that I was set up. I want to give my child the opportunities that I was given, where I have skills that it doesn't matter where I am, I will survive, right? So I want to be able to give my child that opportunity as well to say, okay, if tomorrow being like 50 years from now, I'm taken away from this world, you can stand on your own 2 feet because of the gift that I have given to you in terms of skills, exposure, piano lessons, it could be anything. And so I would say that in answering your question, who created it, it's me and my child and my child's father. So it's just striking that balance.
So I know a young lady who has 2 kids. Well, it seemed like she was in her house with her husband, but he wasn't really doing much. She was doing more of the heavy lifting. And I'm not sure she really did mind. I think she was okay doing some of the heavy lifting. Until she found out that her husband was having affairs with the house girls and all the little kids around. The one that hit her the most was her daughter saying, I don't know why daddy comes to lie on my bed with me. And sometimes I sleep and wake up and daddy's on my bed, sleeping on my bed with me. And so I think at that point, she decides to leave. Because she had to do the heavy lifting, she had to leave these girls with him. I'm thinking about those kinds of people and yourself, who is a young lady with a child. I mean, I don't think anybody goes into a marriage and says, I'm going to leave my marriage, right? Life happens and it is what it is. But there's the pressure that comes with, especially in this industry where you don't have weekdays of the week. You don't have days of the weekend, every day in a day. You don't have closing time where we do 9 to 5 in the corporate world. You can shoot till 4 a.m. in the morning and pick up again at 6 a.m. and continue right up again. And there are women, doing the makeup, women doing the directing, women doing the producing, women doing the art direction, women doing all the different aspects, down to the editing and sound and the color grading and all of that.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. When I came here, I was like, I don't know how many production stories I have for Deola, but as you were speaking, I remembered several conversations with a particular friend of ours, while I was still married, and like, both of you cannot be in the film industry because of the challenging
long hours
and you have a child and all of that. And to a large extent, I had to give up my career, in production. So I couldn't do as much because I had to be home. And I was one of those people who I wanted to use my own hands. I didn't want to leave my son to nannies, especially because it was also difficult having him. So I I had to give that up. And there was a part of me that just felt like it was dying because I had to give that up. But then there was a time in my life I now started to scramble. What am I going to do? I have to be doing something. I can't just be sitting down. I was baking and then I was doing events and then I was doing this and then I was doing that. I was just all over the place, just trying to find meaning, in this life that I didn't plan. Because what I had planned was, I'm going to be a film producer. I met my husband in film school, but all of a sudden his career is going and I'm just here. And I'm just here and I'm like, come now, please give me something to do.
Right.
It's like, hey, so what's going to happen to Tobias? And I'm thinking, and just in
why do I have to be the only one that has to give up myself?
In retrospect, I'm thinking, maybe I would have done it differently. Not that I regret anything.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like, and this is my very self, but over the weekend I watched the movie Look Both Ways. And it was just talking about how, the same life could go, so they were showing us different ways that her life could have gone.
Right.
One started out slowly and then eventually picked up. The other one started out fast and then eventually
died.
And it was just interesting. And in just looking back, I'm like, maybe I should have just said, you know what? Okay, he's going to be fine. Get a capable nanny or ask my mom to come. Just stay in the house for me. I just need 2 years. Because I feel like in those 3 to 4 years that I wasn't doing film, my mates moved.
Right.
And by the time I was ready to come back out, everybody was like,
who are you again?
Who's she?
Fatty who?
And I had to lean in to my other strengths and to rebuild who I am. And so regardless of where I am now, I'm fine, I'm comfortable. But when I think about filmmaking, there's still a part of me that just screams out like a hollow part that is not yet full.
Right.
So I know that in this lifetime, I'll still make at least a few films, to feel that part of me that feels like she's been cheated of something.
Right.
So it's never balanced, but I believe that as women, our instincts are very strong for a reason. God put that there for a reason because we listen more, we listen better.
Absolutely.
A man might have strong instincts, but it's more difficult for a man to listen to them, because I don't know, somehow their makeup is just different.
That?
Like, which kind of life ways, because like that. So, just in relation to your friends, what your instinct is telling you something, you have to move with it. And even in line with your purpose, whatever your purpose is in life, I believe that over the course of my life, I have had different opportunities to run with my purpose, which always had to do with women. So I started Womansplaining, which was one of the very first, I think, accounts of, just somebody, I'll say social media influencing.
Right.
And I did that for a long, and it had a very good trajectory. But then I had a personal hit that just made me feel like an imposter. What are you talking about?
Right.
When this is happening in your life.
Right.
Who are you
to help someone else?
Help somebody else. And I just used to talk about women and the things that happened to us, and it was comical. But that part of me, I feel like that woman died. So even when I tried to revive it, it just wasn't.
Didn't feel real.
Said, you know what? Let it die. So you have different opportunities at different points in your life where that purpose calls to you and you just need to move. You just need to answer it. You just need to do something. If you don't do something, that trust that the same name, the same idea, the same everything.
It's gonna be.
You just see it on Instagram one day. You be like, my life.
Yes. And that person will be the first and the best.
Yes. And that's how it happens. So once your instinct is telling you anything as it pertains to your life, your children, your this, your that, you need to do it. I know that I had opportunities, to do film. But my fear, because when you have a child, something happens to you. You kind of just begin to feel like you're no longer the same person that you were. And if you don't conquer that fast, I mean, I admire women who are just like, I had a child 2 months ago, I'm back at the office. I'm like, wow, go girl. I could never be that person. But if you don't move and act on it immediately, I feel like it will just be that much tougher for you.
I like the way that this conversation is going because, I don't know, for some reason, a lot of relationships don't last in this industry. And the young Gara the Worcesterer.
Absolutely.
I've got to create some English here.
My dear,
like our parents, they're happy to suffer, right? And yes, pain might be inevitable, but suffering is a choice. I get that. But I think they gave themselves reasons for the suffering. Oh, my children.
And some of us inherited it.
Do you understand? Yeah. So they gave themselves, they justified their staying together. And maybe also there's something called unconditional love there. Maybe. Because I always look for the good things in everything. And so maybe that's what unconditional love really means. I love you in spite of. The only question is, did they really love them? Because some stories, when you hear them repeating it, they go back as though it's happening all over again, and you can see the pain and feel the pain and the regret and the resentment and the bitterness and all of that. And the young ones are saying, deuces, I'm out. Yeah. Like, clock it, guys. I'm clocking my way out of here.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm wondering, what is the way forward? I'm looking at, okay, what did our parents do that maybe we didn't like? But some of them worked. What is going on now that we also don't like, but some of it is working? How do we connect that?
How we can balance marriages now. The reason that marriages are failing is that a lot of men do not understand commitment, and a lot of women do not understand submission. There's a fine line. A submissive woman is not a subservient woman.
Right, or a servant.
She's not somebody who does everything, because you have agency.
Right.
So you can't do everything that everybody says.
Right.
And in a marriage, as the truth is, you are married, but you still have autonomy as an individual.
Of course.
And you should be able to express that.
Of course.
Because that is where resentment comes from. When I feel like I'm being suppressed, I'm not expressing myself. And this goes both ways. Men who also feel like they're being suppressed. When a man is with a woman that is very strong.
Right.
I tend to come on strong.
Right.
I tend to be very straightforward.
Right.
And my ex would then tell me that, Fatima, it was too
direct.
Too direct. I really don't know how to go by the corners.
I don't know. It's who I'm.
But I'm learning.
Yes.
I'm learning to be quiet. So I'd not say anything. Are you okay? Perfectly fine. But you don't want...
That's not a good learning.
No, because I've also learned to read people. There are some people that I know can take. I can tell you anything.
Okay, fine.
Because
okay.
You
I can handle it. Right.
And you also have come to understand the kind of person that I am. I feel like initially there was like but you're like, okay, this is who, yeah. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then you just... but not a lot of people have that, So I tend to wait to understand the person, and then I release the deal or not.
Or not, exactly.
Or not, because it's not required. So our parents' marriage, there's long suffering. But you're also doing that because you felt that you
I felt that long suffering. I don't want to suffer for long. Can I enjoy and not endure?
I know. And the long suffering is just about, because there are just certain things about your partner you're not going to like.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's about suffering, choosing to enjoy those things.
Hey, I prefer that.
Yes.
Choosing to enjoy
those things. And just
it's better than long suffering.
You're actually a rather foolish person, but I do enjoy your foolishness sometimes.
Yes.
And if you love somebody, it's like your child.
Yes,
and
you give
I remember
excuses.
A friend of mine, he used to say, if you look at your wife like your daughter, there's certain things that you take that other people may not be able to understand.
Yes.
And it's the reason that we compare it to children is because of that
conditional
love. Because your child, no matter what your child has done, you will not throw the child.
Never.
Do you understand? Oyibo people, they've learned how to throw the children. However,
they'll bounce you out.
They will tell you, out.
In fact, Tony Robbins, his mother used knife to chase him out of the eyes.
But we don't do that here.
Yeah.
And if you can relate with your spouse on that level, and honestly, I'm not an expert, evidently. However, I've just learned that when love is unconditional, when love is complete, when love is there are certain things, there are certain conversations that you can have because you're having it through a filter of love.
Yeah.
It's not And you know,
Me against you.
Immaturity also plays a big part because sometimes when I look back now, I'm like, there's some things that
You could have,
I could have just, it was not that serious. Do you understand?
Wasn't
But
that
time
deep?
I was just fire was coming
Say
out
if
of
you
them.
didn't, if you didn't vivid.
Are you okay? Do you know who you're talking to? I'm not. Don't try. You know. But now I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you said it, but you said it is your problem.
Yeah.
It's not my problem.
Yeah.
You know? And so immaturity plays a big role in why, you know, marriages are breaking. And then you can't just look at a man. You know, there's a lot of people who think they're feminists, but they're misandrists. You have learned to hate men. You cannot hate.
Keep going. Let's break that table completely.
Yes, you cannot hate the entire species of men.
Yeah.
Men are not bad.
Yes.
They were raised in a society that, you know, propagates certain agendas that are now, you know, disruptive.
Acceptable.
That are acceptable and disruptive to the marriage, the institution of marriage.
Right.
Do you understand? So when you look at them through that light, and then there's some men who were just raised by women that were also struggling and did not know their left from their right. And so they've allowed this boy to grow like a weed.
Anyhow.
And they haven't really trained or raised them. I feel like millennials are more aware because we've married those men. We're friends with those men.
Right.
We tell them off. We're like, you can't do that to your wife. Are you okay?
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
And so we are a lot more aware.
Yeah.
And so we're able to say, we can look back and say, we can
I
look
didn't
front and
do
say,
yes.
don't do it like that too. Do you
Yes.
understand? We've seen it. So a lot of the girls right now are looking at the pain of the women that they have been around and they're like, I can't.
God forbid
ever be that person. I will stay married. I will be a lesbian. Before I step out. What are you talking about? Before I touch a man.
And they will never know.
So it's marriage, you know, relationships can be beautiful.
Yeah.
It can be. It's just, are you willing to do the work?
Yes.
Do you love this person?
Yes.
Why are you getting married?
Yes.
Why?
Why? So is it maybe because people are the women are in the media, that's why it seems like most of the marriages in the creative industry, or at least in our industry, it's happening everywhere. But my question is happening in all other, but they're not so in the media like the actor or actress.
No, it would be worse. It would be worse for us.
Because
exactly. We have a lot more opportunity to fornicate.
Right.
And adulterate.
And spreaderate.
And that's and that's because we have these long hours.
Yes.
Where there's mental load, there's physical load, there's pressure, you're tired, you want to release.
Emotional load.
Emotional. So you want to release.
Yes.
And then the man is like,
show up. And then you're in the same film for 5 films and both of you are husband and wife inside it.
So there are those things. But if you imagine you have a partner that understands that my husband is exposed to women.
So many.
The good ones
and the not
bad,
so
the ones
good
that are trying to collect. So, and then she says, you know what? I'm going to tell my boss that I need 2 hours every day because he's on set. So my transportation there and coming back, I will go there. I will love on my husband. I will give him a meal. It is not being a doormat.
Yes.
It is showing up for your husband because you know he's a human being.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
That's one
and
side.
Also kind of putting some kind of stamp.
Yes, putting a stamp on him. However, the men also have to show up and say, I'm not a dog.
Yes.
I am in control of my faculties.
Of my stuff.
I am in control.
Yes.
I can say, no, I know that I have a woman at home. I know that I have a woman at work. I'm sorry. A woman that loves me and that has poured into me and that I want to pour into.
Right.
You know, and
this is for both men and women.
Yes.
So we're not just talking to men, women, we're talking to
and I'm respecting the institution, the vows that I made, because those were vows you made to somebody.
Yeah.
And to be able to say, I cannot do it. And if you feel like, as a man or a woman, I've come to this point where you see this woman or this man, I like the person, I love the person, I want to be with this other person that's not my wife. You will now go to your wife and say, I found somebody that I love and that I want to be with, and I can no longer be with you.
Or are you happy for all of us to be happy?
Yes.
He did it.
Yes. Or are you
I'm
happy
just
to be in a polyamorous
yes
situation?
yes. And I've met women who said, look, I know that no man is ever going to stay with me alone. I'm happy. I've met women like that.
There are women that speak
because
like that.
we're trained some women like that to believe that all men are this, all men are that. We've
And
said
some
all
men
those things.
believe that they are
and
that as
exactly, some men believe that, and they're not ready to change that because it's serving them at the time.
Yeah. And I feel like we need to call men to the table of conversation to say, because men listen to men, to say,
not all the time,
they'd rather listen to a man
than a woman.
Yes, they most, because we've been saying it now.
Yes. So what's wrong with this one? It's because you're a woman. That's why you're saying
you
yes.
don't understand that as men. And then there's one. Let's not dig. Yes. I was about to just enter into just now from Okoko.
No. Please, let's go there.
Yeah.
So how do we then also? I'm going back to you and your many hats. I wear many hats too as well. But I'm very grateful to the fact that I learned to be a better mother as I became a mother. As I said to, I can't remember who I spoke to, and I said, I went to school to learn how to be a better mother. Because we go to school to be everything but the things that we need to go to school for, which is our relationships. And I remember when I first had my daughter, I didn't know what to do with her. And I used the excuse of work, and I would leave her for days and weeks. One day she asked me, are you mommy or are you auntie? Because my house manager was more of a mother to her than I could ever be at the time. So she questioned, it was like, yeah, I see you, then I don't, then I do, then I don't. Who are you in my life? And my first instinct was to say, come on, keep quiet there and get away. But I'm happy that I was able to take that, and I promised myself that as long as I'm in Lagos, no matter what I'm doing, she will see me every 2 days. Then I used to take off for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I'm out. I say I'm in a script workshop. Meanwhile, I'm sleeping. I just wanted to get out of the house. I ran away from everybody. I was going through so many things, right? And so now I see my relationship with her, and I'm so good. In fact, I'm happy that they fired me from that particular job, because firing me from that job, even if I cried my eyes out and I thought I was going to kill myself, I realized that I needed that time to bond with her. Because of her, I decided to turn my life around. And so, I started going for therapy and all the works. And when I saw what it did for me, I became a therapist, right? I said I was going to go and train.
Like, I'm going the whole 9 years.
I'm going to do that so that I can help other people.
Yeah.
So that time for me was what helped me to grow myself as a human being. And so when I see my daughter now and her growth as well, I'm so grateful for every fire that they fired me. I'm so grateful for every time that I had. I'm so grateful for the fact that I was able to now give her what she needed as she needed it, and still am. So I look at you and I'm thinking, work during the week, work during the weekend. How do you create that time for your boy? I don't know whether you're co-parenting with the father or whether it's a you thing predominantly, and then the father comes in when he needs to and is out. What do we create for our children to also put them in the mix so that they're not suffering the brunt of all the things going on in our lives?
Thankfully, I would like to describe myself as mostly level-headed. And so I try not to allow the differences between my son's father and myself to affect my relationship with, or to affect his relationship with his son. We are co-parenting. My son is with me for more of the time than he's with his dad. If you love for your child should override everything.
Right.
I still have family members that are like, what kind of conversation is this people are having? But I'm like, we have a child between us. I cannot completely, and it's not always been easy,
Right?
Because my situation is actually quite interesting,
Right.
But the truth is, that's his father. And if you take that away, it affects your child.
Absolutely.
And my child adores his dad. Why would I make that difficult? There's no reason for me to make that difficult, except you're trying to make my own life difficult, or I see that you're making my son's life difficult, actually, not me. Then, it's fine. So we are co-parenting, and there are certain decisions that we still have to take together. So, yeah. But in terms of spending time with my son, I realized he always would say, Mommy, you're always working. You never do anything with me. But I have a son that's very resilient. So now he will bring his video game
And
put
sit down.
it there and give me one remote.
Oh, yeah, let's
one
play.
pad and say,
Yes.
oh, yeah,
Not to collect it.
So I would
Right.
now, catch myself, put my laptop away,
Join him.
even if it's for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I will beg him.
Yeah.
Say, Joe, I have to, let me just
God
send one.
bless
Like
you.
one email. Once he sees that send,
He's
has
back
given
again.
you
Right.
And then I also ensure that we go out on dates.
Right.
So we have our little fun dates that we go out on. And then sometimes I just surprise him. He's been talking about a particular place. Okay, let's go there. Or we read a book together, or we watch a movie together. But the things that I see that he enjoys, but I'm still working on it. Because life is lifing, and the truth is that those lessons are not going to pay for themselves. So I have to do these things. So I tell him sometimes, I'm like, work is important too. And then sometimes I try to catch myself, because normally he's talking to me and I'm on my laptop and I'm just typing. But now when he's talking to me, I make a point to put the laptop away
And look at him.
connect with
Absolutely.
and listen to what he has to say and respond to him.
Right.
And then I'm like, are you okay with my? Yes, I am. All right.
Thank
back
you
to
very
work.
much. Yeah.
Because I find that I realize that this is my life.
Yeah. For now.
This is his life. And what I mean is, like, this is life. It's happening, right? There's no great moment in future where I'm just going to be like, tra la 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 la.
Nothing will
Do you
happen.
understand?
Nothing is
So you have to create those
Yes,
moments that you
yes.
see in the movies. They're like,
Yes.
oh, that's so nicely created. It. Somebody
Absolutely.
wrote
Somebody
it and
writed
created it.
it.
Yeah. So you must now create those
Yeah.
moments in your own lifetime.
Yeah.
And then I also try to fulfill my desires as a woman.
Fantastic.
Because I realized that for years, I did not see myself as a woman.
Yeah.
I saw myself as a wife
And
who
a
was
mother.
trying desperately to hold on to her
Yeah.
marriage,
Yeah.
and a mother who was trying desperately not to drop the balls
Yeah.
as a mom, because it was in retrospect I realized that my son now started to respond and react in certain ways, and I say,
What's going on
what's
here?
happening? And then I realized that I had projected a lot. I had
Absolutely.
reacted, I had acted out, and I wasn't even aware because I was not in my body. So now I'm in my body. So I create experiences that I enjoy as
Absolutely.
well. Every Saturday night, there's something that I do for myself, because it's like, okay, this week, this few hours, they are
mine.
and I will do me, right? And then also for work, my boss is good. We shut off on
At a
Friday. We
particular-
shut, except
right.
it's urgent. She's traveling. There's something that needs to be done
Till
Or if
Monday
not,
again.
Until Monday, because we all understand kind of that. There's life after work.
Absolutely.
I've given you Monday to Friday.
Thank you very much and
And
goodbye.
I just, so you must, and then even during the week, once it's 5:00, you shut down. It's 5 p.m. I'm gonna do my thing, except it's an urgent message, and then I know I have to respond because that is still, I'm going back to that work tomorrow,
Right.
and I'm going to expect to get paid at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Learning yourself, learning, your reality, and planning it to suit, the life that you want.
And it's
Very
seasonal.
important. It is seasonal. It is sometimes to be low ebb, sometimes it to be crashing waves, but whatever it is, it's just knowing how to navigate it and putting your mental health in front to say, okay, how am I feeling? Where's my head at? How am I impacting the people around me? And there's one thing I haven't mentioned, which is God. He is my core, he is my center, he is my anchor. And there are times I go days on end, I'm not saying anything to him, he's not saying anything to me, but I know he's there.
Yeah.
And that's all that I need in that moment. So those are my own.
Yeah.
That's the way of coping.
A lot of times we talk about academic intelligence, social intelligence, emotional intelligence, artificial now intelligence.
Yep.
But we don't talk about spiritual intelligence much. And this is not religion. I'm saying spiritual intelligence when you say you just know, right? Because God didn't create any religion. It's man-made. That's my opinion.
I agree.
You know, and so I really want to thank you for your honesty. You know, I think for me, these conversations, even if I wrote down all the questions I wanted to ask you, I'm very happy to go with my flow. That's my spiritual intelligence at play. And I'm like, you know, there's somebody out there, not somebody, somebody's out there who have either faced what you're facing, will face what you're facing.
I hope not, for your sake.
And it's not a curse. I'm just saying that life will throw. You didn't get into your marriage saying I'm gonna. You didn't go to film school to tell yourself that I will never shoot a film again. Yeah. But different things happened. You made certain choices and decisions, whether they favored you or unfavored you. You know. But I'm just saying that there's so many people and so many women, you know, who are listening to you that can really, even men, unless they have hard hearts, you know,
that's one way,
which is fine, you know, to connect with the fact that, look, there's so much that needs to happen. And so, you know, grace, really, let's, you know, and empathy towards one another. So 2 things I want us to do before we go. So I want you to close your eyes. Let's try that. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And breathe out. This is my best part of the show, actually. So it's 2040, right? 14 years from now. And there's a young lady sitting in the same place where you're sitting. And she's talking about how you changed her life. Something you did. How an encounter either with you or with your work changed her life or made things easier for her. She was, because of what you did or said or created, she's now able to do, say, and create. What would that thing be? And what would you like her to say?
I would love her to say that being a part of the Sunflower Wellness community helped her. Can I open my eyes?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
Don't be afraid.
So
even if closing it is better, you can.
Yes, it is, because I really was able to connect and
exactly.
I could see it.
You'll see it better.
But I recently founded Sunflower Wellness Community, and it's just a place where women can be safe.
Yeah.
Where I'm connecting community members to specialists, therapists, endocrinologists, sex therapists, regardless of what they do, and just connecting people. So people who typically cannot afford such sessions will have sponsors who can help them, you know, make the connection. It's something that's very fresh, very new. And I'm just, you know, my deep hope and prayer is that, you know, we can help as many women as possible, you know, regardless of where they are in the world, you know, just to be thankful. I'm so thankful for technology where we can just connect people with specialists, whether in their area or whether it's virtual. And we can, you know, even if it's food and they say, oh, we don't have food. And then there's a community within the Sunflower, a community where they help women that, you know, are less privileged. I hope that 14 years from now, when that lady is speaking, she can say that, you know, I benefited from the Sunflower Wellness community.
Yeah.
Or just benefited from speaking to Fatima at some point in my life.
Yeah.
Or just being in her presence. Because there's some women who you're just with, a bit gragrasha, but there's some women who just being with them, you learn something. I've met a fantastic woman like that.
Yeah.
You're just in her presence and you're just like receiving of her grace, and she's not saying anything, you know. So that's my hope and that's my prayer, that I can carry such grace and such presence that, you know, younger women, older women, same aged women can just, you know, I can you know, gain from.
Yeah, I love that. So you guys look out for it. Sunflower
Wellness.
Yay, sunflower.
Well, on IG.
You know, so look at her earrings. Her earrings are sunflower. Yes. And finally, I would like to thank you, and I will eventually, but I'm very big on people thanking themselves. Say 2 things that you're grateful for, but thank yourself for doing them.
Yeah, that's easy. I'm really thankful to you, Fatima, for being so fit and going to the gym as many times as you do, because I couldn't imagine being in a body that wasn't working optimally. So thank you for taking care of this body that you have. And the second thing, again, thank you for starting Sunflower Wellness, because it fed an ache that had been there for so long. Thank you for making that move and starting and doing it in spite of the fear, and all the anxiety and all the things. So thank you, Fatima. You've been amazing.
Yay! See, I wouldn't have known that. So thank you for thanking yourself.
Yeah.
But I really want to thank you for having this conversation with me. I think it's one of the most heartfelt conversations that I've had so far. And I think that a lot of people will benefit from it. And I'm grateful to you for agreeing to be here, right? And I know that as long as it's up to me, you produce your films, as they say.
Yay, we must co-produce it.
We'll
and thank you, Diola.
Oh.
Let me just interrupt your vote of thanks.
Yes.
Thank you for creating the space and the environment for me to freely speak and for me to freely be.
You're welcome. So for everybody who's listened to Fatima and maybe has been through or is going through or knows someone who is, I want you to know that you're not alone. We've all been through one thing, and life will just keep, happening, not because life is wicked. No, but we need to keep being, on our toes, as they say. You're tested for every level, right? So you're not alone. And because we're here, we're Swift Women. We're supporting women in the creative industry, film, TV, media, all screen media. If you need any support and you need a community of women who are there for one another and building one another up, please send us a DM. We would like you to join us so that you can be part of these conversations. Maybe you're going to be the next person on the chair. The chair is for every woman in the creative industry, every woman. So as long as you're a woman in this industry, regardless of what you do, this space is for you. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode as much as I have. My name is Adiola Kingsley James. Love and light.